All right, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Devi और Sajjano, welcome to the very second episode of Untold Tales present Karwa The Live Jive, and we have a very special guest with us. जो पोएट हैं, परफॉर्मर हैं, कीनोट एंड टेडएक्स स्पीकर हैं, पॉडकास्टर हैं at such a young age, and Tuheena Raj is also the founder of or the creator of the page Words of Worth. She started the page in 2016 and she already has around 1,66,000 followers. Wow, Tuheena, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Nandita, and thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Our pleasure completely. So I am going to begin with my first question, which is like, why the name Words of Worth? What is the secret behind that name?
I think the name is very telling about you as a person and what your interests are. And when name a project, a passion project, something it is supposed to mean something very deep to you. But I
Yes.
just came up with this name when I was in college, and I just knew that I wanted it to have a good ring to it so that people could remember,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wanted it to be say broad enough to be able to cover all that I wanted to write. So I just came up with the name. I probably wanted to change it
Mm-hmm.
sometime going forward, but but it just had stuck. So Words of Worth literally is me telling the world what I feel is important to me, and
Okay,
in the process trying to search if the same words have the same worth to you as well.
that's right.
So not a very like well thought out name maybe, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it's got a good ring to it, so I've just kept it
Yes.
as it
It,
is.
it definitely rings with many of us. And I would like to ask you, I was going through the quotes on your page, and they are really profound, yet very simple, if I may say so. So, my thought process was like, after reading your quote, like it really resonates with the common man. You don't really have to be a
Mhm.
literary genius to understand your quotes. It's very common, and it resonates with you. So you have purposely kept it simple, or can you recite a couple of quotes from your page if you can?
Oh yeah, so I'll tell you the thought process behind writing a certain way. So
Hmm.
anything that you're putting out on social media is it works because it's resonance based. It's not working because people want to see what a genius you are or how beautifully you can write,
Yes.
or for you to kind of showcase your flair. That's
Hmm.
not really what people are looking for.
True.
They're looking for a quick respite. They're looking for something to read which rings a bell with them,
Hmm.
which makes them ponder, which takes them away from the superficiality of scrolling
Yes.
through things maybe.
Yes.
So I really never wanted to put something out which was too lengthy, too difficult, challenging.
Hmm.
Even though I might want to write something much more detailed and more structured, or more,
Hmm.
closely abiding to the rules of literary
Hmm.
structures, but
Hmm.
I never wanted to do that on Instagram because it's a simple platform which is
Yes.
not really meant for that kind of things. If you want to do that, you have blogs, you can write it on Medium, you can
Yes.
write it on any other platform.
Yes.
So my philosophy from the beginning was clear, that I just wanted it to be these floating thoughts.
Hmm.
I never wanted it to be anything to elaborate. And I think that's the beauty of it. Like, just an unfinished phrase with not too much in it. So I'll just kind of give you a couple examples. I have to
Yes.
go to my phone because when
Sure.
I'm talking, I don't
Sure.
remember
No problem.
a lot of what I've written. But I'll just give you an example
Hmm.
for like the latest post that I have, which is imagining you is akin to remembering.
Yes.
It could just be about somebody you haven't met for so long, and that imagination is the only memory you have of some people. it's
Correct.
a it's a way of longing. I'm not saying it's profound or anything, but I just find the beauty in it to be um something that rings a bell with people, which makes them, I think anybody who's reading this can at least remember one person who
Absolutely.
they could have in their lives, and who they haven't met in a while, and who they would just remember by imagining. So
Absolutely.
things like these, I don't want it to be I am not a person who knows everything, who has everything figured out. I know my answers are getting very long, but I just had to
No,
put
no,
this out
it's
that
completely okay.
um, I mean, I'm not somebody who's a know-it-all, and I don't want to approach writing with that
Hmm.
um, bent of mind that I'm here to give you solutions. I'm not. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just here to take your mind onto a different tangent, maybe
Yes,
something that you actively think about but don't really process.
that's right. And you said it's not very profound, but I find profoundness in simple things. And this was so simple yet so profound. Like remembering is akin to what was it?
Imagining you is akin
Imagining
to
you is
remembering.
akin to remembering. This is so, so, so beautiful, I would say. And if you ask me personally, Tuheena, I personally relate to very, very simple things. So if you look at my work also, my writing, it's very simple. And what I have observed, what I have studied is people relate more to simple things than profound things. So my way of working is also, being in touch with the simple thing. So on that note, I would
Hmm.
also like to ask you that I read somewhere, I heard somewhere, and you talking. I was looking through your videos, and I heard you talking about you kept yourself anonymous for a long time because you said you didn't want to be tracked back. So any particular reason about that thinking?
Simply because, I have a problem with how social media is perceived
Mm,
nowadays.
that's right.
It's become a world of exhibitionists and voyeurists. Basically, there are people who exhibition operate their lives
Hmm.
and try to showcase. And I don't think it's bad, but it's
Hmm.
become an exhibitionist kind of a
Hmm.
setup where everyone's announcing like little things that are happening in their lives,
That's right.
mostly the good bits, hiding the murky bits, the sad bits, and only talking about a life which is um close to imperfect, because
Yes.
you cannot have all highs in every single day. And there are a set of voyeurists who are consuming the exhibitionists content and thinking that their lives lack something because it's not as full of things to do or full of things to
Hmm.
experience as the other people's are. And when I'm writing on social media, or when I'm putting out a thought, I don't want to be traced back to what my life is, or who I am, or what
Yes.
I'm saying. What I'm saying should be the focus. It shouldn't be who I am, what kind of a life I have, where do I
Hmm.
live,
Hmm.
am I a girl, am I a boy. I really didn't want that. And
Okay.
a lot of time,
Okay.
writing is such a personal thing, no? It's such an
Yes.
intimate thing. When you're putting it
Yes.
out into the world, you don't want, I mean, for example, I write something which is a little sad today.
Hmm.
I don't
Hmm.
want a friend coming and asking me what's going on
Yes.
with you, like
Yes.
you're upset. I don't like that, because writing is an art form, okay? So it's
Yes.
just, I mean, for example,
Hmm.
I give this example everywhere,
Hmm.
but I think it's the best way to communicate what I'm trying to say. So, for example, if you see an actor playing a role,
Hmm.
when you see, say, a Nawazuddin
Hmm.
playing a sad guy on
Hmm.
screen,
Hmm.
he's crying in his scene, he
Hmm.
is upset,
Hmm.
I don't know, fighting with people,
Hmm.
but it doesn't mean that Nawazuddin per se is
Hmm.
experiencing those emotions. It's
That's
his
right.
character that's
Absolutely.
experiencing those emotions. So when a writer is writing, it's not, you know, necessary it's
Hmm.
that I am feeling those things. I could have just assumed a character. I could have been just on a figment of my imagination,
That's
and
right.
it could be that part of me that's trying
Hmm.
to emote that way. It's not probably that Tuhina is experiencing those things or Nandita is
Yes.
experiencing those things.
Yes.
So that segregation in writing doesn't come through. I get this question so many times from people: Are you sad? Are you depressed? Are you something? Yeah, like a lot of people will ask me
Hmm.
every time, has something major, really sad happened in your life for you to
Hmm.
be able to emote this way? And I'm like, no, please don't reduce what
Hmm.
I'm trying to do to me having some sort of personal experience with tragedy.
Hmm.
So I think it does enrich your, I mean, worldview and the way you present things if you've
Absolutely.
have experienced something like that. But I don't
Yeah.
wish it upon anyone to
Hmm.
enhance their writing, and I don't, really don't hope, or I don't see it in a way that if anybody is able to emote very well, it's
Mm-hmm.
because something will happen to them. It could
Mm-hmm.
just be a skill. It could just be
Absolutely.
something that they work hard for.
Absolutely. And like you said, there it's not necessary that you have a heartbreak or you fall in love, only then can you write beautiful lines. You can write beautiful lines otherwise too. But mostly what we have seen, that people write about heartbreak or love, and they've been in love or they have been
Hmm.
heartbroken, and then they write about it. So I'm not going to ask you that question. You've already got that question a lot of times. So, on that note, I want to ask you this thing, because our show is all about art and art lovers. Our listeners are all art lovers, I believe, or simple people trying to connect to art. So, what do you have? How has art impacted your life, or what role, according to you, art plays in anybody's life?
So I think I think I've said this before also,
Hmm.
but art is the simplest of things. Whatever you do could be art.
Hmm.
Writing an email could be art. Just tidying up your desk could be art.
Absolutely.
Just chopping up vegetables is also art.
Yes.
Just when you're cooking every single day.
Yes.
So there is, I don't think it's a separate thing. It's not an external influence in your life. It's something that can be found in your everyday simple things that you do, and it just takes an eye or a perspective to know what really is art for you.
Mm-hmm.
um just There is beauty in doing the most simple of things, in
Mm-hmm.
processing the most simple of emotions. And I think
Yes.
when you start viewing art as a very integral part of your life, you don't escape it. It's always been there. People, even there are a lot of people who claim they have no hobbies per se, but if you're just humming to a song
Yeah.
which you remember from your childhood, that's also art, right? Like it's
Yes.
just been with you.
It
How
is.
you process the world, how you see it, how you culturally understand context is all a part
Absolutely.
of art. So I don't think people need to, in like our school time, a lot of people had this. Even now, people have this thing that this is extracurriculars, this is
Mm.
curricular. So
Yes.
what you're studying is your matter, and extracurriculars may all the things that are actually feeding your soul are included in that.
Yes.
So I really feel that this segregation, at least in it, even if it's like semiotics or terminology,
Hmm.
which is saying that this is extra and this is curriculars, I
Yes.
think that needs to be done with,
Hmm.
because I don't think it serves a purpose. Because as I said, it's art is so intrinsically involved in our lives that we shouldn't be drawing it away or like telling it apart from the things that we do.
That's true.
um I think it's a very, very important tool for your self expression. Every individual exists on the face of earth to tell people, or to function in a way that impacts his her life or other people's lives. So art is a tool for that, and
Yes.
I think it needs to be given a lot more importance, at least in the Indian subcontinent, than it is
Absolutely.
given now.
Yes.
Because although we have a lot of artists, they are all closeted. They are not given, say, the resources and the encouragement and also the monetary support that artists should be given for the work that they do.
Absolutely agree with you. But I would also like to add that as compared to, previous times or olden times, we can see a lot of people, getting connected to this form like art, and they're coming out, especially because of social media. So it is a tool, which we can use to our good, or it can be, like pros and cons of social media. So it's completely up to you how you use it. So there was a point you
No,
said, yeah, you're saying something.
no, I was saying that's so true.
Yeah.
Can you give me like 1 second? Like my
Yes, yes.
laptop is out of charge.
No
If you
problem.
want to like
Yes.
stop the recording or something,
No,
huh?
no, it's okay. That will be edited. No problem.
1 second, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All set?
Yeah. Resume. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So I was saying there was a point where you said humming to a tune can be an art too. So that
Yeah.
reminds me to Hina that, ladies and gentlemen, if in case you don't know, in case I didn't mention in my introduction, she is a singer and a dancer too. Unfortunately, on Zoom call, I can't ask her to dance. But I can
Yeah,
definitely ask her to sing. So we want to hear a favorite song of yours, irrespective of the language you want to sing in.
that's very sweet.
Mhm.
I should have thought of a song and kept it ready. But I because I am asked to sing like in a couple of places, but I never have a song figured out. Can we do
Okay,
this like in the end, like in the end of the interview, so that
why
people
not?
who are watching can wait and
Absolutely.
see what I have to sing?
Yes.
I hope I'm worth the wait. But yeah, let's see.
Absolutely. Okay, so people,
Yeah.
there is some suspense for you. We are gonna have the song in the end, and let's see
Oh.
what song does Truhina brings to us. So let's move on now, Truhina. I was really inquisitive and intrigued about your, work-life balance and your art, your love for art balance. So what do you do? Please explain in detail to our audiences. I, of course, know what do you do and how do you manage the balance?
So with writing, I've always had a full-time job.
Hmm.
I studied commerce at the Shriram College of Commerce in Delhi.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
yet to do my master's, but
Okay.
I've been working since my college
Okay.
graduation. So
Okay.
I now work with Blue Tokai Coffee Roasters, which is a
Mm-hmm.
coffee brand in India, specialty coffee brand with a lot
Mm-hmm.
of cafes across India,
Mm-hmm.
and I work as their brand manager.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's primarily what I do, and my role is that of a brand manager, as I just mentioned. So all the
Okay.
typical things that follow with it, and
Mm-hmm.
Wordsofworth is a project that's my passion project. So,
Yes.
so you can say that on weekdays I am involved with Blue Tokai, and
Mm.
on weekends I schedule all the projects that I have for Wordsofworth.
Okay.
Um,
So do you
yeah,
drink a lot
that's
of coffee?
I have started drinking a lot of coffee ever since I was started working here, because
Okay.
I've understood that coffee is, like I said, a form of art. Like, just to get the kind of flavor notes, because I'm now working with like roasters who take their coffee very seriously.
Yes.
I'm just like, I'm understanding the nuances that are
Mm-hmm.
there in like anything that you drink or anything that you eat. So
Mm-hmm.
flavors, the delicacies, I
Mm.
mean, how much how it tastes on with milk, without milk, a lot of these
Ah,
like fun things. So I'm just
true.
getting to know all that.
What is
Yeah.
your work
And as
timing?
far,
What's the work
sorry,
timing? What is the work timing?
it's a regular
Mm.
work job. So it's a
Mm.
full-time job in the sense that I have to work from, say, 10 to 6 7.
Okay.
Could be more, could be less, depending
Okay.
on the work.
Okay.
And um and I mean, of course, the balance bit that you spoke about
Mm-hmm.
is difficult,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not very easy to have a passion project to be
Mm-hmm.
equally motivated to do both things, because
Yes.
a full-time job really does tire you out. And I'm not talking about this organization per se. I
Mm.
was in banking before this,
Okay.
and that was also very tiring.
Okay.
So I mean, irrespective of what you do, you have to know that, if something feeds your soul, you make time for it. It's as
Absolutely.
simple as that.
That's so
So I
true.
don't per se try to force myself into. I used to do that, but I
Mm.
don't do this now, which is to
Mm.
say, social media, because of its fast rate of consumption,
Mm-hmm.
makes you believe that you should be writing every single day, that you
Mm-hmm.
should be creating content every single day, that every
Mm-hmm.
single day you should have a new talking point,
Mm-hmm.
a new fresh thing to add, which is it is I mean, it's impossible if you're an individual and a human being.
Mm-hmm.
And you will have your days where you cannot and just shouldn't write.
Mm-hmm.
So I just take it in the same way, that this is a pace that I decided for myself, which is I will only write and say something if I think I have something of value and worth to say. I will not keep dragging it on
Absolutely.
just because I feel everyone else is doing it.
True.
So yeah, right now I've gotten that sort of clarity of thought, but let's see how better I can, or how much more I can write in the times to come.
You seem to be such a sorted person at such young age, I must say, because
Mm.
social media is one place, which like kinds of pressurizes you to do things, especially when you've got so many followers. I was going to ask you this question, that do you feel the pressure of doing it like every day? Just because a lot
I
of people are looking up to you. Oh, we need a quote, we need something from Tuheena. So do you feel the pressure at times?
So I'll be very honest. For me, most people know me through my social media handles.
Mm, mm,
That's how I am known to people.
mm,
So my introduction to people has been through social media. So I
mm,
do feel there is this sort of course there is this gratification that you get
mm.
when
Yes,
you're doing well, when the number of readers you have are growing, when
yes,
people are responding well to what you're writing.
yes.
That's a rush. I will not deny that. That's a
Mm,
very that makes you feel very happy. But at the same time, I have to look at myself as an individual who also has other things to do in life, who has a
yes,
future to plan, and who also has to take care of her mental health. So
yes,
I've had a lot of times when I have thought about, I felt bad about underperforming or not
mm.
being able to write something every single day. I've had that pressure. I feel it.
Okay, okay,
And just when you go on social media, and like I recently spoke about it on my handle also.
okay.
One day I just opened LinkedIn and I just saw every single person doing something or the other. They've achieved something, and it's a pandemic, and you're just sitting in your room and just
Yeah.
eating chips and just watching something on Netflix. It just gets to you. And
Yes.
it's a very, and I've just, because I've been doing this for about 4.5 years, I've
Mm.
realized that there is no such thing as a perfect pace, as a perfect growth trajectory.
Yeah.
It's about what makes you feel tick. And
Yes.
I, for once, I used to pay a lot of attention to the number of followers people have. Like I used to see
Uh-huh.
it, and I was like,
Mm.
wow, I mean, hundreds and thousands of followers, that's
Yes.
insane. But
Yes.
now what I'm actually looking at when I'm
Mm.
looking at someone's work, it's also changed. It's about what are they trying to say, or what do they
Mm.
have to say? What are they
Mm-hmm.
bringing to the table? I
Yes.
mean, to with due respect, I'm not impressed by outfit changes in a video. I
Oh.
want to understand from you. I
Mm.
want to understand from you, what is your view about women who don't, or who can't wear the outfits that you are talking about to feel like a girl boss.
Ah.
Like,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
this this narrative on social media is so trend oriented right now.
Mm-hmm. True.
When for example, Sushant's passing away as news
Mm.
came in, everyone became a mental health advocate.
Yes.
Now now people are happy to troll each other
Mm.
and cause other people mental health traumas because of that.
Mm.
So I'm just
Yeah.
talking about this narrative switch. Why is that
Yes.
happening?
Yes.
So for me, what's not important is how many followers you have. It's about
Mm.
what you are trying to say. Do you have a concrete
Mm.
idea that you're trying to push every single day? Or, I
True.
mean, even when you're active, are you saying something which is going to make a difference in people's lives?
Absolutely. So that is such a beautiful thought, and even I noticed that whenever there is a hot topic in the market or in the news, everybody seems to be having an opinion on that, and that is just so, I mean, kind of ridiculous, if my if I may call it. So, but
No, I really think it's important to have like your
hmm,
views on topical issues,
hmm.
but it shouldn't be a fair weather, sort of a
Yes,
performative
yes,
activity,
yes,
that it's
yes.
just happening when there is a conversation about it, and then for the whole year you shut, and then you're just like picking up from
Yeah.
whenever you think it's going to benefit you.
Yes. And I saw people attacking their friends and family. Where were you when I was down? Where were you? You only talk like
Yeah.
this. So it was kind of, it got very dirty in the public. Like something else has happened and the whole focus was shifting somewhere else. So,
No, absolutely.
yeah. So doing I was going through your TED talk, and first there are two questions related to that. So first, how did that happen, and how excited were you to do that? And number two, in during the TED talk, I came across one portion where you have mentioned about one particular person who kind of contacted you, if you can recollect it, and that he was trying to do something extreme, and how it changed for you, or how your writing changed things for him. So please, these two questions I would like you to address.
Sure, sure. So, firstly, it was an honor to be giving a TEDx talk.
Yes.
Um, because I remember at college in my third year, I attended a TEDx talk
Mm-hmm.
that was that was organized in my college, and I felt very inspired at the end of it.
Yes.
I
Yes.
had heard from some, really trailblazing people,
Mm.
and I felt so energized at the end of the day. So when
Yes.
I got an opportunity to do this, first of
Mm.
all, it was a huge honor.
Yes.
And I couldn't be happier than to be doing it in a medical school, because I
Okay.
was going to be addressing doctors, like upcoming doctors, which
Which
was
school was
fancy.
it, if I may ask?
So this was IGMCRI, Indira Gandhi Medical Center for Research, and
Hmm.
I'm forgetting I what does I stand for, but okay,
Mm.
and it's in Pondicherry. So
Pondicherry.
and I'm
Okay.
based in Delhi, so I
Okay.
flew down to Pondicherry
Oh, okay.
to do this talk. It was like one of the first that I've done outside of Delhi. So it was
Okay.
amazing. I took my whole family and we all went to
Amazing.
Pondicherry. That's a different story.
Okay.
But it was an honor. Firstly, it was really lovely because I've always had a lot to say, and to be given a
Mm-hmm.
platform to do that
Yes.
was wonderful.
Yes.
The bit about so I in my TEDx talk I mentioned about
Mm.
somebody I had a contact with, I think 3 years ago,
Mm.
and this person had just written to me and left
Mm.
this very strange text in my DMs that
Mm.
said, "Thanks for your words that gave me a little more time on earth." I
Yes.
wouldn't name him,
Yeah.
but he was a boy based in Chandigarh,
Okay.
and I was in office. I was living in Mumbai at that time, and the moment I saw that text, I had just reached office.
Mm-hmm.
I got into this panic mode. I couldn't. I didn't understand what he meant, so I
Yeah.
just quickly messaged, and I just wanted
Mm.
a confirmation that I really hope it's not what I think it is.
Yes.
And that boy really, I mean, I'm glad he spoke to me because he
Mm.
said that I'm having suicidal tendencies. Um, and I just started calling these suicide helplines and
Mm.
people I knew in Chandigarh. So, a couple of friends, whoever I thought could just reach this boy or do
Yeah.
something about it, because I didn't know if I was the only person who knows it. I mean,
Mm.
what if you're the only one who's being
Yes.
informed and
Yes.
you don't do anything about it?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I got really scared. I called up my parents and I asked them, what should I do with him? And they
Mm.
said, just alert as many people as you can in Chandigarh. We'll also try to do that. But
Yes.
very sweetly enough, that
Mm.
this boy wanted to talk to me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's what
Mm-hmm.
I find very gratifying, and I feel that is,
Mm.
I mean, I just feel like it's a blessing that I could talk to that
Yes.
person. He felt like
Yes.
talking to me, so
Mm.
he wanted to talk to me. He felt like I had answers to his questions, and
Okay.
I think a young college guy, and I was
Mm.
just out of college. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not somebody who is a professional, mental health practitioner or a
Mm.
psychiatrist or a
Mm.
psychologist or
Mm.
a counselor. So I was giving him all these things that, nothing in life is big enough to, claim your own life. So I was just
Absolutely.
giving him all these generic
Mm.
things, but it just helped pacify him. And I just
Mm-hmm.
understood that my digital aura maybe looks like I have it all figured out, that
Yeah.
I'm some I'm some baba who knows everything. Really, I'm just like this confused person herself. So
Mm.
I had to just act the part there. Maybe
Yes.
that's what it all was about. Spoke to
Yes.
him for a couple of weeks later,
Mm.
forced him to go for therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Spoke to him on the phone. It was
Mm.
scary,
Mm.
but it was worth it because I
Mm.
still sometimes get in touch with him now.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a little embarrassed now to talk about it, but
Yeah.
it's going fine. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm the one who stopped it. I don't take credit for it, but I just
Mm.
feel like that experience for me is very
Mm.
it was an inflection point. Like, it's a huge thing for me to have experienced something like this, and
Yes.
just, even from a phone screen, to know that
Mm.
somebody feels strongly about, or feels so has so much trust or faith in what you can do for them. That's
Mm-hmm.
insane, right? So
Absolutely.
after that, I made sure that any piece of information, any sort of resources that I'm putting out
Mm-hmm.
is completely fact checked, is completely like not offensive to anybody, that I'm putting out sort of trigger warnings for people. Wow, that's
Mm-hmm.
like some
Yeah.
passage happening with that sound. Oh my, but yeah, like I'm just a more responsible content creator on the internet after
Yes.
incidents like these. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, it's very sad that a lot of people on an almost everyday basis write to me with issues. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these are about not getting the love and respect from their partners.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
sad that such young people, and these are mostly, if I could give you like a profile of these people, these are mostly aged below 20, 22 years of age.
So sad.
So yeah, and I just direct them to a professional counselor,
Mm-hmm.
because and I have these resources on my site which are about people who can help out young people who are LGBTQ friendly
Mm-hmm.
and who are not going to charge you a very high fee. So it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
a sliding amount or a nominal fee.
Okay.
And the idea is to connect them to actual mental health practitioners who can give them medical advice.
Mm-hmm.
What is also very difficult or I mean disturbing to see on the
Yes.
internet is that content creators have assumed the role of also being mental health practitioners. So
Yes.
they are giving
Yes.
out advice of what they think is correct or what
Yes.
they have seen in their experiences. Whereas
Yes.
the primary rule of giving mental health advice is that you don't assume anything from your experiences, or you don't
Hmm.
assume or judge people basis what you have experienced in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of is the first violation per se. And the
Mm-hmm.
fact that people don't really understand that psychiatry,
Mm-hmm.
psychology
Mm-hmm.
are actual scientific medical fields
Yes.
that need to be given the kind of attention they require
Yes.
is
Yes.
also a disturbing fact. So social media is great to start a conversation or engage, but please know where to stop, and
Yes.
please know that you are here only to tell people to go see a doctor. You don't start treating people even though you've had fever. You won't start giving people
That's right.
the same medicines that you had,
That's right.
because your fever and their fever is very different, could be
Yes.
very different.
Absolutely.
So yeah, very very long answer, but
And
I'm just
that's all right. So I loved the part, where I understood, or where I figured out that you are already, such a young girl, and you are being connected by people of your age. Usually we have this notion in our mind that, okay, somebody very elderly can only give us the right advice, but that you have broken the notion there, and you have played a part, a very crucial part in many people's life. And sometimes it's just somebody, the people want to speak to somebody, it's just the vent buddy we look for, and only we talk to somebody out of our family member, where we might not get open so much, where we might not open up so much. So I
Hmm.
believe that it's not always a proper treatment that you need, but sometimes you just need somebody to listen to me, and when you went out the whole thing, you already start feeling light. So on
Of
that
course.
note, yes, so you've been the vent buddy for many of them, and that is such a noble thing, I would say. So if you can stop one person from taking an extreme, I believe each life is very precious, be it
Of course.
be it the smallest of the insects. So but if you can save even one person from you taking an extreme step, that is, you've got that boon. If your art can do that, that is a very big thing. So
Thank
now
you.
we, with those heavy talks, we are going to move towards a relatively lighter round. So I have this round in my show, which is something like rapid fire round. Now, the only condition
Yay.
that I'm not giving out any hampers, though. I'm sorry.
Array.
Yeah,
Gonna
I might
feel
tell
like Karan Johar feels
you.
that this
Yes.
is gonna be a coffee hamper. But
Even if I
okay.
give you out a hamper, it is going to contain sanitizer and mask and all those things. You
Yeah.
wouldn't want them.
My God.
So the only condition here, Tuina, is you don't have time to think. So it's very much like that. Kuch Kuch Hota Hai movie where I say the word and you have to give me an answer. You don't have time to think. Okay,
Done,
are you
done,
up
done.
for it? All right. So
Let's
let's
do it.
do this, ladies and gentlemen. You've been listening to us for quite some time, and this is the fun round that we have in Karma, the live jive. So, Tuhina, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So, your first question is your favorite writer.
Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni.
Okay. Favorite color?
Purple. I'm wearing it.
You're wearing it, and it really suits you, I
Yeah.
must say.
Thank
Favorite
you.
food?
Fries.
In okay, I want in Indian and I want in continental.
Okay. I mean, continental. Okay, fries are like universal, so please count it in the continental.
Okay.
Or if I were to give another thing than fries, it would be. These are all snacks. Okay, so
Mm.
a plate of nachos, like baked nachos.
Okay. Something like
Um,
I'm looking for
Indian,
something very, very
Indian is
Indian.
chole
Like,
bhature.
sorry?
Chole bhature.
Chule
Indian.
bhature. That's the one I was kind of looking for.
I'm a
Okay.
Delhi person, so yeah.
Yes. Favorite movie? Hindi and English.
Okay. English is The Shawshank Redemption.
Ah, mine too.
Hindi is I think Tamasha
Tamasha? Are you talking? Can you
by
give?
Imtiaz Ali.
Oh, okay. Deepika Padukone and Ranbir.
Yeah, Deepika and
Oh,
Ranveer.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. That didn't pick up
yeah.
really well in the market. I mean, at the box office, but it was a very deep movie, a
It
profound movie.
was. It had like there are people who love that film and there are people who don't understand that
Yes,
film
there's
or who
no
don't
in
like it.
between. Either it's
Yeah,
love, love, it's hate, hate.
yeah, yeah. Like, but I love that film. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, favorite actor, Hindi English, and favorite actress, Hindi English.
ओ भाई ये तो बहुत ही डिटेल्ड है I don't know like a male
Okay, I'll just
like I don't
simplify
have a
it for
specific
you. Favorite
I
actor
don't have
and
a
favorite actress. I'm simplifying it for you. Favorite actor and
okay.
favorite actress.
So okay, I really think Ranbir is a great actor.
Kapoor?
Um, Ranbir Kapoor, yeah,
Yeah,
I think he's
okay.
a great actor.
Hmm.
I also love Nawazuddin, loved Irfan.
Hmm.
Um, who else do I love? I love Deepika. I love Meryl Streep, and I
Okay.
also love Priyanka.
Okay.
I
Yes.
don't love her
Okay.
probably for her acting, but I just love her as a person. So
Yeah. The way she's doing in her career, you mean?
she is wonderful. I
She
think
is. She
I
is.
really
Even
think
I.
should
She's got
take
the
a note.
guts.
Like everyone should take a note from her book. It's
Yes.
amazing.
Absolutely. She's like an iron lady in the industry. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we've moved on to a section of rapid fire round where I'm going to say things to you and you have to tell me what comes to your mind first on listening to these words. Okay?
Okay.
So
Okay, done.
when I tell you books,
Luxury. Just to be able to read them is such a luxury.
okay, life,
Happens to everyone.
passion,
What you're alive for
beauty.
is not in the eyes of the beholder, it's
Hmm.
in you.
Oh, that is a good one. Love.
Love is everything, right? Love is what you're living for. Passion
Absolutely.
and love.
Passion and love. And my last question, this is just added. I have just added this from my side. Who's your crush?
Who's
You
my
have a crush
crush?
on somebody?
Who's my crush? Yeah, I
Hmm.
switched up. No, not really. Like a
Hmm.
celebrity crush. Oh, I have this writer crush on someone.
Okay, who's that?
So there is this woman whose book I'm reading. Her name is Gia Tolentino,
Okay,
and she's written this book called Trick Mirror, and I
okay,
just started reading it, and
okay,
I have been admiring how she's written it. I just hope
okay.
कि Bhagwan, I hope someday I can write like this girl because
Wow.
it's just wonderful. So I have a huge writer crush on her. I would like to steal all her like gray matter and like want a brain transplant. How stupid that
Wow.
sounds.
Amazing. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm going to look for that book and I will try to, get my hands
Please
on.
read it. It's
Yes.
amazing.
Absolutely. And now, Duhina, I've come to know that you are multilingual. You know a lot of languages. So I have one line for you, one sentence for you, which you have to translate in as many language you can. Are you up for it?
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
sure.
So now, since it is in English, so English is out of question. Other languages you can try out, and the line goes something like, "Art does different things to different people."
ओके सो कला अलग अलग लोगों के लिए अलग अलग चीजें करती हैं
Okay.
और कला विभिन्न लोगों को पाई विभिन्न काम करे दैट्स इन ओडिया
Okay.
and Bengali I am not sure, so I'm not like I understand Bengali I can
Hmm.
even write it but I
Hmm.
can't speak it very fluently
Okay.
so I am not going to take a shot at Bengali because all the Bengalis are going to be like she just butchered the language so I'm not going to do that.
Okay. And
Yeah,
what I know of Bengali is and Oriya, they're quite similar, if I'm not wrong. Oriya
right,
and yeah, they're quite similar.
right.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but like a certain couple of like words are very different in those,
Hmm.
and the like, just a jol khabo in Bengali is
Hmm.
not how we say it in Odia. It's like
Okay.
pani pibu. So matlab it's
Oh,
different. Like it's more
okay.
similar to Hindi here. So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm not gonna butcher Bengali and not have like hate comments. So
No
not
problem.
taking the risk
You
there.
can
Yeah,
take that luxury and not butcher the language because we have many Bengali listeners, I'm sure. Anyway,
yeah,
so moving on,
yeah.
what is your own favorite quote? You've written so many. What is your favorite, the most favorite?
Um, wow. What
Hmm.
okay, let me just give me one
Yeah,
second. I
yeah, sure.
have it.
Yeah, sure.
I think so there are so many, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't really like judge or analyze
Mm-hmm.
when I'm writing. But I think there's one which says, "What eats you whole
Hmm.
leaves you hungry."
Oh,
So
wow.
I hope
That's
that
beautiful.
yeah. So anything that consumes you is the one that leaves you wanting more, and I think that's
Absolutely. Oh
my
my God, that
philosophy
is
in life.
deep. That is
So
deep. Okay, so now we are
yeah.
almost heading towards the end of our show, and I have two things to do with you. First, to all our budding writers, art lovers, what is one message that you would like to convey? And second, I hope you have thought of some song which you're going to sing for our
Oh
listeners.
yeah, I have
Yeah.
actually.
Okay.
So the first thing I'll say to anyone who's writing, whether
Hmm.
it is on the internet or
Hmm.
otherwise, or
Hmm.
anybody who's creating art,
Hmm.
is that art is not just um, creativity. It's not just um, you playing around with the medium or
Yes.
the tools
Hmm.
and creating something. It has to have a message, it has to have a depth, it has to have something that you really, really feel strongly about
True.
tied into it to have that sort of impact on people. Real
True.
art is communicative. It helps other people have an emotional or a sensory um, experience when they look at your work or they read it or they absorb it.
Yes.
So I think what's important is not to start with the exhibitionism part of it, which is to
Yes.
say ki you start showcasing it first.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
think do the soul searching, do the groundwork, do the I mean it's not easy but it's required. So
Yes.
first when you start out with anything, if you're writing, please understand what do you want to say. It could be the simplest of experiences. I'm sure every single person in their lives has had a string of experiences that they feel very strongly about and they feel could really change the way the world understands emotions, nuances. So start with the groundwork, start with working on yourself. Of
Yes.
course, in the process, please work on your language as well. It's an ongoing thing, it never stops.
Yes.
But when you put it all together, let it not just be based on one experience, let it not just be on one breakup, one person, let it be a collective. You could have your heart broken, you could have had failures. How do you say it in a way that's never been said before?
Yes.
That's what's art.
Yes.
So please don't go by cliches. It's easy to be
Yes.
fooled by looking at social media that cliches are the only way to win or succeed.
Mm-hmm.
But most talented artists have been underappreciated in their time. And
Yes,
I would just say that if you ever have something to say, please say it in a way that's really, core and real to you. I think that
absolutely.
communicates and that just speaks
Absolutely.
to people volumes. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's my advice. And yeah,
And now
what did you say also?
coming to the song, which is the song you're going to sing for us.
Okay, so one of my favorite Hindi films, Jab We Met, had this song.
Ah,
So I'm gonna sing that.
yay! So listeners, up for
Mm.
that? Tuina is going to sing a song for us. All over to
I
you.
hope I hope you don't have to have your ears bleeding, but okay.
Don't worry, we'll cut that part if it's that.
Let's just like crop this bit out where I'm being just all awkward and weird and
Not at
okay.
all. Please go ahead. You've got such a sweet voice.
Oh bhai, you're very encouraging. But okay. ना है ये पाना ना खोना ही है तेरा ना होना जाने क्यों होना ही है तुमसे ही दिन होता है सुरमई शाम आती है तुमसे ही तुमसे ही हर घड़ी सांस आती है जिंदगी कहलाती है तुमसे ही तुमसे ही
Wow! Oh, that was wonderful, Tuina. So it's like, something great is going to happen and you under talk about it. No, no, it's not going to be that nice. Huh? And then
no
you.
please no because I don't want to get people's hopes up and I'm not like a singer who practices. So I really don't feel this is my best side to showcase. But
You
I just
know, we have most of the singers who don't practice in the industry now. They just come up with something and they sing anything. Uh,
I don't know, but I've been feeling this a lot that for
Yes,
so long I've not had like a Bollywood song which I've just loved to bits. It's just
absolutely.
too much dick jack, and it's just I don't like it.
Dick
I
Jack,
don't know
and
why.
if you listen to the lyrics, oh my God, I mean, it's just like conversation happening. There is no profoundness to it. So you talk of
It's
your
just
favorite film as Tamasha. There was a very nice song in Tamasha, which is my favorite song. Pal pal ठहर जाओ. Do you like that song?
I
Because
love that song.
after a
Agar
long
tum
time, yes, after a long time, Alka Yagnik had made a comeback with that, and
right.
what
The
beautiful lyrics.
what beautiful lyrics. The way that song has been shot also is
Yeah.
just so.
Yes,
That's what I'm talking about. That's
yes.
real art. Like that pain, that longing, that
Hmm.
beauty, and Deepika wanting to bring him back, and then
Yes,
him feeling like he just can't be the
yes,
person she wants him to be.
yes,
It just I just find Imtiaz's storytelling to be wonderful, and I feel
yes.
that film. That's why it's so
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. Like each aspect of it. So I relate a lot with Ranbir's character
Mm-hmm.
because he goes to do a job, then he behaves a
Yes,
certain way, then he
yes,
comes back and he can be like, you know, his himself or
yes,
his theatrical self,
yes, yes.
and and a lot of people experience that, which is at one end they have to be this person who's subservient, who's
Mm.
agreeing, who's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in a setup, in a job, in a role where he has to behave a certain way, and then he or she can come back and be
Mm-hmm.
there to whatever Notanki or whoever that they are. So
Yes,
I really feel like this film was speaking on a lot of things that I personally relate with.
absolutely. So, Johina, with that, we come to an end of this beautiful, beautiful session. Thank you so much for your precious time. I
Thank
know
you
you are a
so much
busy
for
girl.
having
Yeah,
Thank no,
absolutely,
no,
Anna.
I'm not a beauty girl. Please. No, so I have just a lot of things right now, but thank
Hmm.
you so much for doing this. It means the world to have someone like you listen to me
Oh, so sweet.
rant and talk and just share, because your energy is so supportive and beautiful,
Thank you.
and it just brings out really good things in the other person who you're talking to. So thank you so much. You are so positive to talk to.
Thank you so much. Completely our pleasure. And it was such a wonderful session. I mean, I got to learn so many things from you. You know, the proverb that says learning never stops. So I got to learn so many new things. And with each podcast that I do, I mean, it's a great opportunity that I have been given by Untold Tales that, I feel enriched after every podcast. So thank you for your
I'm
time. Yes.
Thank
Any
you.
last words? I was going to ask you. Any last words?
For this, no, I just think
Mm.
please stay safe, take care, and
Yes.
this is a very unprecedented time, so don't behave like the pandemic is over
Yeah,
because it's far
absolutely.
from
It is
over.
not.
Yeah,
It
because it's
is
far
not.
from over. Yeah,
Yes.
but
So,
that's it. Thank you so much. Bye.
yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, Devi or Sajjano, we are ending this session. Thank you, Untold Tales. Thank you, Ravina. Thank you, Deepika. And thank you, the whole team. Thank you to Hina for accepting our request and
Thank you,
doing the
Rashida. Thank
podcast.
you, Ravina. Thanks, Untold Tales, and I hope this turns out to be good.
Absolutely, and I'm so looking forward for it to go on Spotify. I can't wait to hear
Yay.
that. Yay! So
Yes,
catch you soon sometime. जब pandemic over हो जाएगा तो हम मिलेंगे शायद कहीं ना
बिल्कुल,
कहीं,
बिल्कुल.
है
You're
ना?
based in Mumbai, right?
I'm based in Mumbai.
Okay, so whenever I fly down, I'm saying hi.
Absolutely. Please come down to say hi and we'll keep in touch. Okay. Tada, bye
Definitely,
bye. Have
definitely.
a great Sunday. Enjoy
Bye.
your lunch. Are you having march for lunch?
No, yeah, not having much today, but yeah,
Okay.
today Diwali Safai is going on, so no one's there to
Oh,
cook.
oh my
I have to go
God.
and get back to like cleaning and all. That's why I'm sitting on the floor also, because the other things are getting clean. But
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
Chalo,
So happy
thanks a lot.
Diwali Safai and tada
You
bye
too.
bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Lovely talking to you.